At the beginning of 2021, I received an email from a filmmaker in the United States asking me to participate in a documentary that they're making about the 1995 Rugby World Cup and how I got associated with it through the singing of Shosholoza. I've done similar kind of interviews before about the 1995 Rugby World Cup. But this time around, the people who are making this documentary are approaching it differently. That's what they told me. Now, I went and did the interview at Ellis Park Stadium. That was the venue of the final of the Rugby World Cup in '95 between the Springboks and the All Blacks. After I did the interview, the lady who had interviewed me looked at me for a few seconds quietly and then asked me a simple question. When are you writing a book? And I said to this lady, you're not the first person who's asking me when am I going to write a book. In fact, this year alone, since the beginning of 2021, I've been asked numerous times, and the question has come to me in different guises. So I responded by saying, I have thought about it before, as way back as in 2015, and I started putting down some words, but I'm not making any progress. I somehow just get stuck. So she said to me, well, there are people who can work with you to help you to write a book. The kind of ghostwriters, as they are known. You could work with somebody to put your thoughts together and write it. And she also said, I know a publisher who could be interested in writing your story. I said, wow, okay, thank you very much. And then she connected me with somebody. And then I reached out to this potential publisher by the name of Tracy McDonald, and she was really keen. And to my surprise, because I never thought, my story could be of interest to anybody else except me, my family, my loved ones, and people who know me. And Tracy McDonald said to me, of course, I'll be interested in publishing your book. Who are you going to work with to put it together? I said, I don't know. She then said, I know somebody. I'm recommending a lady by the name of Lisa Witebski, who's a ghostwriter, who's written many books, and she's got a background in journalism, and she might be interested in your story as well because she had a presence in media. I said, wonderful. And then I met with Lisa, and we clicked. So as I'm sitting here today, I'm in the process of writing the book, working with Lisa Witebski. It's a very interesting journey because it forces you to go back into the recess of your memory to think about where you were and what you did and why you did certain things. I started working in media at the beginning of March 1980. That's 41 years ago. And in that journey, from being an intern to becoming a junior reporter, to becoming an editor, a deputy head of a service, and becoming a station manager of a commercial radio station in South Africa, and even into the boardroom, becoming executive chairman of a broadcasting entity, a lot of lessons I've had along the way. And that kind of experience I've realized as I'm starting this journey of writing this book, you can't buy. You can't buy any kind of experience, as we know. And for me, there's been many valuable lessons. So I'm hoping that through this exercise of writing my first ever book, with the assistance, of course, of a professional like Lisa Witebski, I'm going to be able to share with you some lessons, some interesting experiences along the path. I don't know everything, even today, 41 years later in the media space, but I'm hoping there'll be bits and pieces of knowledge sharing that will enrich you, that might inspire some of you, and some of you might find it uplifting. And some of you might just think, why bother? But I'm going to be making myself, when you write a book, you make yourself a little bit vulnerable because you share some things. But most importantly for me, I'm hoping that my children, one day when they have their own children, if they are blessed with children, they'll take the book and say, this was your grandfather. And in that book, the grandchildren might find a little bit of who they are and their roots, because I'm going to share as well a little bit about my parents, my mom and dad, and where they came from. So maybe that will enable them to understand who they are. Of course, there'll be much more than where they come from, because we come from somewhere, and then in our day-to-days of living on this earth, we learn new skills, we meet new people, we gain new experiences, we build a future for ourselves. But somehow, the destiny that you are meant to achieve is already there, mapped out. But how you get there is really up to you, and how you open yourself up to it. So I'm excited. Sometimes I feel a bit scared. There is a little bit of nervousness to say, is this the right thing? But I think the time is right. I'm 61 years old now, and having worked in media, in different roles in media for 41 years, and in the past 41 years of my work, I've also worked in corporate South Africa, in the financial services, a different experience. So all of that is going to come together, and hopefully make this book a worthwhile read for you when it does eventually get published. Thank you for watching.